But you who seek to give and merit fame and justly bear a critic's noble name, be sure yourself and your own reach to know how far your genius taste and learning go. Launch not beyond your depth, but be discreet, and mark that point where sense and dullness meet. It's hard to say if greater want of skill appear in writing or in judging ill. But of the two less dangerous is the offense to tire our patience then mislead our sense. Some few in that, but numbers err in this. 10 censure wrong for one who writes amiss. A fool might once himself alone expose. Now one in verse makes many more in prose. 'Tis with our judgments as our watches none go just alike, yet each believes his own. In poets as true genius is but rare, true taste as seldom is the critic's share. Both must alike from him derive their light, these born to judge as well as those to write. Let such teach others who themselves excel, and censure freely who have written well. Authors are partial to their wit is true, but are not critics to their judgment too.
Yet if we look more closely we shall find most have the seeds of judgment in their mind. Nature affords at least a glimmering light. The lines, though touched but faintly, are drawn right. But as the slightest sketch if justly traced is by ill coloring but the more disgraced, so by false learning is good sense defaced. Some are bewildered in the maze of schools, and some made coxcombs nature meant but fools. In search of wit these lose their common sense, and then turn critics in their own defense. Each burns alike who can or cannot write, or with a rival's or in you not spite. All fools have still an itching to deride, and fain would be upon the laughing side if Mavius scribble in Apollo's spite. There are who judge still worse than he can write.
Some have at first full wits, then poets past us. From critics next and prove plain fools at last. Some neither can for wits nor critics pass, as heavy mules are neither horse nor ass. Those half-learned witlings numerous in our isle, as half-formed insects on the banks of Nile. Unfinished things one knows not what to call, their generation so equivocal. Tell 'em would 100 tongues require, or one vain wit's that might 100 times. But to seek to give and merit fame, and justly bear a critic's noble name, be sure yourself and your own reach to know How far your genius tastes in learning go. Launch not beyond your depth, but be discreet, and mark that point where sense and dullness meet.
Nature to all things fixed, the limits fit. Wisely curb proud man's pretending wit. As on the land while here the ocean gains, in other parts it leaves wide sandy plains. Thus in the soul while memory prevails, the solid power of understanding fails. Where beams of warm imagination play, the memory's soft fingers melt away. One science only will one genius fit. So vast is art, so narrow human wit. Not only bound into peculiar arts, but often those confined to single parts. Like kings we use the conquest gate before by vain ambitions. Still to make them more, each might has several prophets well command. But all must stoop to what they understand. First follow nature and your judgment frame. By her just standard which is still the same. Unerring nature still divinely bright, would all but stoop to what they understand. First follow nature and your judgment frame. By her just standard which is still the same. Unerring nature still divinely bright, one clear unchang and universal light. Life, force, and beauty must to all impart at once the source and end and test of art. Art from that fund each just supply provides, works without show and without pomp presides. In some fair body thus the informing soul with spirits feeds, with vigor fills the whole, each motion guides and every nerve sustains itself unseen, but its effects remain. Some to whom heaven and wit has been profuse want as much more to turn it to its use. For wit and judgment often are at strife, lament each other's aim like man and wife. Tis more to guide than spur the muse's steed, restrain his fury than provoke his speed. The winged courser like a generous horse shows most true mettle when you check his chorus. Those rules of old dissevered, not devised by nature still, but nature methodized. Nature like liberty is but restrained by the same laws which first herself ordained. Hear how in Greece her useful rules indites, when to repress and when indulge our flights. High on Parnassus top her son she showed, and pointed out those arduous paths they trod. From afar aloft the immortal prize, and urged the rest by equal steps to rise. Just precepts thus from great examples given, she drew from them what they derived from heaven. The generous critic fanned the poet's fire, and taught the world with reason to admire. That criticism the muse's handmaid proved, to dress her charms and make her more beloved. But following wits from that intention stray, who could not win the mistress wooed the maid. Against the poets their own arms they turned, sure to hate most the men from whom they learned. So modern apothecaries taught the art by doctors' bills to play the doctor's part. Bold in the practice of mistaken rules, prescribe applying, call their masters fools. Some on the leaves of ancient authors prey, nor time nor moths are spoiled so much as they. Some truly plain without invention's aid, write dull receipts how poems may be made. These leave the sense they're learning to display, and those explain the meaning quite away.
You then whose judgment the right course would steer, know well each inch its proper character. His fable, subject, scope in every page, religion, country, genius of his age. Without all these at once before your eyes, cavil you may, but never criticize. Behold his works, your study and delight. Read them by day and meditate by night. Thence form your judgment, thence your maxims bring, and trace the muses upward to their spring. Still with itself compare this text peruse, and let your comment be the manch one guides. But you who seek to give it merit fame, and justly bear a critic's noble name, be sure yourself and your own reach to know how far your genius takes to learn and go. Launch not beyond your depth, but be discreet, and mark that point where sense and dullness meet.
But you who seek to give and merit fame, and justly bear a critic's noble name, Be sure yourself and your own reach to know how far your genius taste and learning go. Launch not beyond your depth, but be discreet, and mark that point where sense and dualness meet. When first young Marrow in his boundless mind a worked out last immortal Rome designed, perhaps he seemed above the critic's law, and but from nature's fountain scorned to draw. But when to examine every part he came, nature and Homer were he found the same. Convinced, amazed, he checks the bold design, and rules as strict his labored work confined, as if the Stagirite overlooked each line. Learn hence, for ancient rules adjust esteem. To copy nature is to copy them. Some beauties yet no precepts can declare, for there is a happiness as well as care. Music resembles poetry, in each are nameless graces which no methods teach, and which a master hand alone can reach, if where the rules not far enough extend, since rules were made but to promote their end. Some lucky license answers to the form, then did propose that license is a rule. Thus Pegasus, a nearer way to take, may boldly deviate from the common track. Great wit sometimes may gloriously offend, and rise to faults true critics dare not mend. From vulgar bounds with brave disorder part, and snatch a grace beyond the reach of art, which without passing through the judgment gains the heart, and all its end at once attains. In prospects thus some objects please our eyes, which out of nature's common order rise. The shapeless rock or hanging precipice, but know the ancients thus their rules in vain, as kings dispense with laws themselves have made. Moderns beware, or if you must offend against the precept, ne'er transgress its end. Let it be seldom and compelled by need, and have at least their precedent to plead. The critic else proceeds without remorse, seizes your fame and puts his laws in force. I know there are to whose presumptuous thoughts those freer beauties even in them seem faults. Some figures monstrous and misshaped appear, considered singly or beheld too near, which but proportion to their light or place in distance reconciles to form and grace. A prudent chief not always must display his powers in equal ranks and fair array, but with occasion and the place comply. Conceal his force may seem sometimes to fly, those off their stratagems which ever seem. Nor is it Homer not, but we that dream. Still green with bays, each ancient altar stands above the reach of sacrilegious hands, secure from flames, from envy's fiercer rage, destructive war and all involving age. See from each clime the learn their incense bring, here in all tongues consenting pains ring in praise. So just let every voice be joined, and fill the general chorus of mankind. Hail bards triumphant, born in happier days, immortal heirs of universal praise, whose honors with increase of ages grow, as streams roll down enlarging as they flow. Nations unborn your mighty name shall sound, and worlds applaud that must not yet be found. Oh, may some spark of your celestial fire, the last, the meanest of your sons inspire, that on weak wings from far pursues your flights, glows while he reads but trembles as he writes, to teach vain wits a science little known, to admire superior sense and doubt their own.